After trips to Misano in Italy and Estoril in Portugal, the FIM JuniorGP World Championship now visits another iconic racing destination. Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya has witnessed its fair share of historic motorcycle racing moments, and today it plays host to round 3 of the 2024 JuniorGP Championship, where the stars of the future take to its hallowed turf. 4.7 kilometers in length, 14 turns, and the longest straight on the calendar provide the perfect ingredients for top-class racing, and it is now the turn of the Moto2 class to show what they can do in the northeast of Spain. A very good afternoon to all of you watching along from home, and welcome to the second race of the day, following an absolute cracker in JuniorGP earlier this morning. And we won't give away any spoilers, but this is the first of 2 for the Moto2 class here in Barcelona. Xavi Carlos and Unai Oradre took top step honours here in 2023 in the absence of then championship leader and eventual champion Senna Aegis. While in the current campaign we are 3 races into 2024 and we have had 3 different winners in the class. Are we set to see that trend continue in Catalunya? So, sun is beating down here. As you can see, some clouds are out in the sky, but the sun is beating today. It wasn't last time out in Estoril. A wet race was declared amid pretty poor conditions in Estoril, but there was nothing poor about the performance of race winner Mattia Casadei. The Italian launched from pole, but dropped behind Taiga Hada early on, with an Eric Fernandez slotting into third. It didn't take long for Casadei to power through past the Japanese rider and steal the initiative, as the conditions played their part, with Harrison Voigt, Charles Aubry and Ivo Lopez all failing to see the checkered flag. Debutant Jorge Navarro was on the podium ahead of Hada, while Casadei took the race win. Race 2 again saw Hada take the early lead from second on the grid, but once again he didn't have the pace to go with Casadei, who powered by him on the front straight. Roberto Garcia's incredible first lap saw him go from P15 and into podium contention, though he nearly lost it at turn 6 as he made a move for the lead. Alberto Sura charged hard from deep on the grid as he looked to salvage the point, but ended up in the gravel, while a red flag after a crash between Oradre, Jorge Navarro and Dani Munoz saw the race end early and give Roberto Garcia his first ever win in the class in pretty sensational fashion. Liam, who is joining me here, Liam Hodgins. A brilliant race we've had so far this morning. We're up for another, hopefully, cracker of a Moto2 race. And if it's following a trend of recent races in this class, we should be on the edge of our seats.
We should be indeed. It looks like the Pirelli tires for 2024 have really changed the game so far. It's hard to tell who could be the rider to beat here this year, but so far this weekend you have to say it's been Jorge Navarro on the forward racing machine, who has had a couple of outings so far this year, back in Estoril and of course in the World Championship. A former race winner in the Moto3 class is Jorge Navarro, and there he is on screen on the number 11 forward machine, and also a podium finisher here in Moto2 back in 2019. So Jorge Navarro is a rider that has a lot of pedigree around this Barcelona circuit, and they're all chasing him at the moment. But there's a couple of riders, Chris, that will be chasing hard, and we'll hear from Jorge Navarro.
I am very happy because I think we have been doing a great job with the bike and with my team. And step by step we are finding the way to make the bike work. Also, I have to say today I enjoyed a lot riding, and that's why I am here. So just looking forward tomorrow and try to give my best and try to give the best info to my team to keep improving. For sure, to be in the pole position is the best position to start tomorrow in both races. So just keep calm, keep focused for tomorrow. It's 2 races, so important thing is to make what we know to do, and everything will be fine. I think looking the pace we have today, I think tomorrow I have to try to make my best start and try to make my pace, make the 16 lap in the best pace possible, and let's see the final position at the end of the races.
A 1:48.365 from the Clint Forward junior team rider Jorge Navarro sees him start on pole position for the first time in the Moto2 European Championship. I don't know if I can call it blue, but it might be an apt song playing right now because the tunes are absolutely belting out here at Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya.
We're absolutely loving them, aren't
It's
we?
more of a turquoise colour, I think. I'm sure people will correct me there, but Jorge Navarro's Ford machine, well, let's say it's blue, just to get the analogy in there. But yeah, Jorge Navarro, a rider of huge experience, over 100 appearances in the Moto2 class and the World Championship stage, 10 podiums in Moto2, and as you mentioned, a race winner, a two-time race winner in the Moto3 World Championship. Missed the opening round in Misano due to World Supersport commitments, but bounced back and debuted in Estoril. Got a first race in the class, picked up a P2. Crashed out, was involved in that red flag crash in the second race in Estoril. Thankfully, all three riders walked away relatively unscathed from a big collision. But a P6 then starts on pole here. A win here will really get his championship tilt up and running.
Yes, it would indeed. The rider that they're all chasing in a championship right now is Matteo Cassidy, your Moto2 reigning world champion and championship leader as well. But a P4, a first place, and a second place is all that he wrote so far in 2024. And Matteo Cassidy will be looking to his left and potentially over his shoulder in the championship sense to Jorge Navarro. These two have got a great pedigree in world championship level, and they really are the class of the field at the moment. But the rider that has finally taken a first race win in the class, Roberto Garcia, only 17 years of age. It has been coming for a long time, Chris, but finally got that one over the line.
Yeah, an absolutely superb performance in that second race in Estoril. 15th on the grid he started, and by the end of the opening lap, it was myself and Elliot York on comms, and about halfway through we noticed, where did Roberto Garcia come from? An absolutely stunning launch from the line for the Spaniard, and he completes a pretty blockbuster front row, joining Matteo Cassidy, a Moto2 world champion, and Jorge Navarro, a veteran of the World Championship stage. And it's pretty powerful front four when you think about it, because you've got Alberto Sura there as well. He started on pole position in Misano, took the win there. Tricky qualifying. We have to remind viewers at home that in Estoril, during qualifying, the heavens truly were open. The conditions were miserable, and Sura suffered a lot there. He started, I think it was P17 on the grid, so far from ideal for the Italian, but he did recover for good points in the first race. Looked on for a good recovery of points in the second race too, but unfortunately crashed out in the penultimate lap before the race was called due to the red flag. Danny Munoz then, stock champion 2023, 18 years of age, rookie in this class, as you can see there. Misano P7, Estoril P9, involved in that late crash in Estoril that saw the red flag wave, and didn't pick up any points, unfortunately, for him. But starting here P5, so best qualifying for him so far this season.
Danny Munoz has been a rider we've seen walk around the paddock this weekend with a spring in his step, smile on his face. He knows he's got the pace to fight for the podium here this weekend. A winner here in Stock European Championship last year, and a rider who's looking very happy is Francesco Mongiardo on the 49 machine, and 8th in the World Championship so far. As you can see, a best finish of 5th, and then a 6th last time out in race number 2. Mongiardo's really come on leaps and bounds so far this year, Chris, and a rider that you can believe maybe the first podium won't be too far away.
Yeah, outside of row 2 for the Italian, and he wasn't that far away from a podium either. You had the pleasure of witnessing the action in Misano. P5 there, he wasn't very far away. I think he was very much involved in that battle until the last lap.
Yeah, he was indeed. He was well and truly in the mix. Really stepped up a gear, has Mongiardo this year. Another rider that we must keep an eye on. Jumped up to the class late last year, competed in the last 3 rounds, and already 2 podiums to his name, and then a 7th place in race number 1 in Estoril. Ferrandis really is only 16 years of age. Has a big learning curve, but you can already see the talent is there. And well, Ferrandis, we have seen him with a lot of pace throughout the weekend, and unfortunately just dropped down to P7 on the grid in the late stages of Q2. But Ferrandis, as we have seen in the races so far, Chris, is a great starter off the line and will be in the leading battle.
Yeah, exactly. Off the line, he's a demon, and he's proven that in some of the races. A double podium. At the tail end of last season, as you mentioned, he jumped up late in 2023 to the Moto2
from
class.
European Talent Cup.
From the ETC, yeah, and he had a very strong end of season in 2023. I think he picked up the P5 in Aragon. So pretty impressive stuff from Ferrandis, and as you mentioned, just 16 already on the podium twice. We saw Kaito Toba, then another veteran of the World Championship, who is on a new journey in 2024. The Japanese rider spent 7 years in Moto3. We've seen him on the podium plenty of times. And he's moved over to World SSP. He's already picked up some points in the Super Sports category. And now he is also riding in the Moto2 European Championship. Eric Fernandez also just on screen, the number 4. A rookie rider. He was Danny Munoz's chief title rival in 2023.
Marco Tapia fans out there on the circuit as well, the Yamaha Stylo Bike Philippines rider. So Marco Tapia, as we see teammates of Marco, the Harrison Voigt rider, the Australian, who has had a solid start to the season so far, we must say, who had a podium in his first ever Moto2 race, but struggled a little bit throughout the middle part of the season. Only 5 finishes last year. So Harrison Voigt, a rider that's starting to build the confidence back up once again, and with P10 in the grid, that's a good showing from the Australian.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. Once again, Liam, Voigt, he's been on the podium as well. I think we commentated on it last year in Estoril. Yes. Picked up a podium there, but just never got that consistency. So, as you say, he's just trying to build a little bit of form. And he's picked up one DNF already this season, which is disappointing for him, but a good point-scoring positions. Mattia Ratto, then another experienced rider in this class, returning for 2024, is on row 4, just outside of Harrison Voigt. And then just outside of Ratto is a 2023 race winner, Unai Oradre, who will launch from P12.
So as the riders get ready for their 16-lap dash for the cash in Moto2 Race 1, this is how it lines up. Jorge Navarro on pole position with a 1:43.355 ahead of championship leader Cassidy and Roberto Garcia, race winner last time out. Sura, your former championship leader, on row 2 ahead of Munoz and Mongiardo. Ferrandis, Toba, and Ferrandis on the outside of row 3. Harrison Voigt leads row 4 ahead of Ratto and Oradre, the race winner from race 2 last year. Roberts on row 5 ahead of Volpe and Johan Jambert, son of Sebastian Jambert. Taiga Hara, podium finisher in the class previous years, and 18th ahead of Lorenzo Felon, Di Vittori and Toth on the outside of row 7. And then it's Inta, Aubry and Lee, the Chinese rider, rounding out your grid for today ahead of race number 1. As the Moto2 riders will be getting set for the start of the warm-up lap any second now. And it will be Jorge Navarro, a former winner here in the Moto3 World Championship, that will lead them away ahead of the warm-up lap. As you saw there, the 54 of Ferrandis going from P7 on the grid, heading row 3 on the Infinite Work team machine. So, Chris,
Navarro, as we saw there, 0.3 of a second to spare in qualifying, so he has certainly got the pace here. He had an impressive debut outing in Estoril on the podium in his first race. He was nearly with the victory fight as well. He got caught up, I think it was in an Ivo Lopez crash, about the halfway mark when he was on the charge through the pack. And he ended up going a little bit wide, eventually managed to catch up with Taiga Hara and overtook him and came home in a comfortable second. But if he hadn't been caught up in that incident, you would imagine he would have gone with Cassidy, and we could have had a pretty grandstand finale between the Italian and Spaniard for victory honours. In the end, it went away at Cassidy with Navarro in second, both of them coming home in comfortable position with Taiga Hara in third. I mentioned for the Japanese rider, he had a bit of a miserable practice session which affected his qualifying, a crash in practice, and just never got going then in qualifying, and he starts a little bit further back on the grid in P16, so just keep an eye on the number 23.
I just want to add to Taiga Hara, we've seen Hiroshi Oyama, former 250cc world champion, in his garage this weekend, along with some, what we believe is some Honda bosses. We've seen some big Honda personnel walking around as well so far this weekend, and talking to Taiga Hara and inside the Gas Up racing team machine. So yeah, Taiga Hara, he's got the
what are you suggesting, Liam?
Not suggesting much, to be honest, just saying that, well, keep an eye on Taiga Hara. We've seen him in Moto2 World Championship last year, and who knows, he seems to be popular with Honda at the moment, so it could be big things for Taiga Hada in the future, in any class.
We've seen plenty of the stars out on show here in Catalonia as well. I think you mentioned you saw Jordi Torres in the paddock yesterday, former Moto2 world champion, and of course Moto2 title rival to Mattia Casadei. Do you think he's here to support Casadei in his Moto2 endeavours?
I think he's here to talk to us, to be honest, isn't it, Jordi Torres? He loves to chat to people. Does Jordi, a big personality, and he's one of those people you'll probably hear him before you see him. Spanish Elvis.
Spanish Elvis, I was about to say.
Spanish Elvis, yes. A few high notes he'll be hitting there, as the Moto2 bikes will be hitting the high notes for revs up, Chris.
So we're ready to go. The green flag waves at the back. The red flag is gone. The red lights are on. Keep an eye on Jorge Navarro, who gets an early launch from the line. The number 11 is flying out of it, and he is fired into the hole shot. Maybe he just left a little bit early there. Roberto Garcia has dropped into third position, but what a start for Dani Munoz. He has moved into second position. Roberto Garcia into third, with Sura just in fourth ahead of Eric Fernandez. So a strong start from Navarro, ideal for him. But what a start for Dani Munoz, and now he is in prime position to defend second place and potentially take first ever Moto2 podium.
Taiga Hada, we were just talking about him before the start, is already up to second place.
Number 23.
What a start from the young Japanese rider from 17th. I'll say that again, 17th on the grid, Taiga Hada. We'll just see him coming through shot on the number 23 machine. I was watching him down towards turn number 1. He was skating his way through the pack like a figure skater, very, very smoothly through the pack. But for now, it is Dani Munoz chasing Jorge Navarro.
And while Taiga Hada is going in the right direction, Mattia Casadei has had a horrible start. He is already down in 10th position, coming into the second sector at turn 9 onto the back straight. We might get a replay of what happened to Mattia Casadei, but the current championship leader is now down in 10th position, and Ferrandis has also had a shocking start. He's down in P15.
I was about to mention Ferrandis. He's gone the wrong way as well. From 7th on the grid, he's dropped 8 places so far. Just dropped behind Tapia, Jambert and Brett Roberts on the opening lap, just ahead of Lorenzo Fallon. So Ferrandis, we're really bigging him up ahead of the start, and he's already gone the wrong way. He's got a big fight on his hands, as does Casadei.
Still early days though, and plenty of opportunities to recover, but it's the ideal opening lap for Jorge Navarro, who launched from pole position, took the hole shot and leads over the line. But has he got a problem now with Dani Munoz? He absolutely does. The 2023 stock European champion seizes the initiative and leads for the first time in the Moto2 European Championship. Brilliant stuff from the number 17 aboard Calyx Machinery. He deposes, Navarro from the lead. Roberto Garcia still running in third position and is all over the rear tyre of Navarro. But there is your front three. Running in fourth position is Alberto Sura. An opportunity for him to maybe retake the championship lead. I'm sure we'll get the live standings in a moment with all the mathematics. It's never been a strong point of mine, but I'm sure we'll see how it all affects things. But Navarro then will be in championship contention if he holds on to a top 3 finish. Roberto Garcia just a few points behind Casadei. He is certainly now the provisional championship leader as he runs in P3, with Casadei now in P9.
Jorge Navarro is finding that Dani the Menace Munoz is out to play here today, and as we saw, he was in great form last year, and we've got rider, that looks Ferrandis. Yeah, so does he have a problem? It looks like he's pulled off the track there to the old Formula 1 look.
Luckless run for Fernandez. Every time he does something, he's in a positive position, and I saw it happen in Estoril, challenging for the podium, and he crashed out, I think, of P4, P5 at the time. Managed to rejoin and join P8, but it just seems he's on a bit of a luckless run, the 2023 Stock European Championship runner-up. Now
pushing the bike, trying to get started again.
He's got a problem.
It looks like he might have just died, to be honest, coming through turn number 9. A bit of a punch in the
for
tank.
Fernandez.
Yeah, there. So as with one rider that was challenging for the Stock European Championship last year out of contention, it's the title rival from last year that's leading the way, and not just leading it, pulling away with the fastest lap of the race. 1:43.808, so that's only half a second. Oh, Navarro almost tagging the back of Roberto Garcia, who's taking second from your pole sitter.
Well, I said it was the ideal opening lap for Navarro as he went from P1 to P1 across the opening lap, and Fernandez is also in.
Yeah, must have
the
a problem
pits here. There's been a big problem for him. We noticed him drop off the line, but as I was saying about Navarro, he went P1 to P1 on the opening lap. But it's been a horrendous second lap for him as he has now dropped down to third position. Munoz and Garcia pouncing on their compatriot, the Spaniard. We have some yellow flags out as
They
well
get
on our
Volpe.
timing screens. It looks like Mattia Volpe is down. Eric Fernandez is out of the race, and Alberto Fernandez is also out of the race as he has dropped into pit lane early on. So it's been an attritional opening couple of laps here in the Moto2 European Championship race in Barcelona.
Something's happened to Harrison Voigt, the young Australian. He is plummeting down the order. He was running just outside the top 10 before the incident. So Harrison Voigt, he's down to 20th, so he might be out of the race or just ran off the track there. So disaster there for Harrison Voigt, who did start from 10th and we thought was starting to rebuild his confidence in terms of form once again after a struggling 2023, a second half of 2023. It looks like he might be down and out of the race as he stopped out on track. Potentially the yellow flags at turn number 4 for Harrison Voigt. There we are again, the number 29, and it looks like he's been a bit winded in that one potentially. It does look like it may be turn 4 for the Australian rider, but thankfully he's up on his feet a little bit gingerly, but walking away nonetheless there, Chris.
Yeah.
As Danny Munoz continues to lead the way, but once again, like a bad rash, Roberto Garcia is all over the back of last year's stock European champion. A 1:43.5. That was 0.3 of a second faster than Danny Munoz on the last lap.
Yeah, a brilliant effort then from Roberto Garcia as he is swarming all over the rear tyre of the number 17 of Gas Up Racing Teams, Daniel Munoz. As I think we've lost another rider. Was it Brett Roberts' name I saw tumbling down the timesheets? We'll bring you an update on that as we get a chance. But out front then it is Munoz, an ideal, a dream start to this opening race here in Barcelona for the 2023 European Stock Champion. He took the lead at the end of the first lap, beginning of the second lap, coming into turn 1, pouncing on Navarro. Just runs it a little bit tight there. But he's got Roberto Garcia swarming all over his rear tyre. Navarro has settled into 3rd position, with Garcia the fastest rider on track. And then it's Alberto Sura who recorded a PB lap as well, a 1:44.1. Still a few tenths slower than the lead trio at the moment, but Sura is out to salvage some points here as things stand, because it looks like he just doesn't have the pace to go with the front 3. Taiga Hada is up the P5 ahead of Mattia Cassidy. Hada had a brilliant start. Cassidy has recovered somewhat, but he did have a P2 start, so less than ideal, but he is running in 6th place. Unai Oradre in 7th, with Monjardo, Joan Gibmer and Kaito Toba completing the top 10 as things stand.
A shout out to Johan Gimbert, the 7, the French rider, young racer, the son of Endurance World Champion legend Sebastien Gimbert, up to 8 spots from 15th on the grid nonetheless. So Johan Gimbert is showing great form so far, a stalwart in this championship this year, a former champion in the French classes last year as a champion in the French Supersport Championship. In 2023, also competed in the World Supersport. As we've got a bit of a wobble there, rear wobble from Roberto Garcia. It's already lap 4 and already, or lap 5, and already looks like Roberto Garcia is already getting that Pirelli rear, shaking and wobbling, as we did see a lot in Misano. But last time out in Estoril, it was all wheels in line for the 31, but this time not so much.
Yeah, nothing to separate the top 3 as things stand. They all came over the line, recording 1:44.1, and they're pretty much hitting the same time markers through Sector 1 and Sector 2 of this 5th lap here in Barcelona. Munoz then leading. He's no stranger to leading races. As we mentioned, he's gone wide there, but he's no stranger to leading races. The 2023 European Stock Champion. Great battles with Eric Fernandez last season. He has made the step up to the Moto2 class this year, and he's leading for the first time. He's had a solid start to the campaign. Hasn't threatened just yet for the podium honours, but he is certainly doing so here as we look at the number 40, Mattia Cassidy, who's running in 6th place. He is your championship leader, but he won't be if he remains here. As we can see the championship standings, Roberto Garcia will move up into P1 ahead of Cassidy with 7 points between them if things remain as they are. Sura will also close the gap to Cassidy, but lose ground to Garcia with Taiga Hada running in 4th.
Danny Munoz has had a track limits warning flash up on our screen. He's been running off a couple of times, we've noticed so far. So in Sector 3 and Sector 4, Danny Munoz, your race leader, has to be careful because a track limits warning has been issued to the 17 who leads Roberto Garcia, and Jorge Navarro, who last time round was the 2nd fastest rider on track, just behind Danny Munoz, who was the only rider in the 143, so he's probably using some of that track limits to find the 143s as Munoz. Also, Unai O'Radri, he's been issued a track limits warning. We're seeing the yellow track limits flashing up on our screen, left, right and centre, so it's for quite a few riders that are running off the track more than once.
Yeah, Munoz, the only rider into the 143s, but he's still just got about a 1/10 of a second on that last lap over the chasing duo here. There's certainly a battle brewing in Barcelona for podium honours here. Munoz currently leading, and he's got, what, about a 1/10 of a second to spare over Garcia. Is Garcia going to have a little look up the inside here? No, he's just a bit too far back as they come into turn 10, but he gets close to that rear wheel and pulls a tighter line. Now look, Garcia might just think he might have a bit of pace here to try and fancy leading. He gets that tighter line. Brilliant stuff from Garcia.
Wow, what a move.
And he bunts Danny Munoz out of the way. Roberto Garcia is once again leading a race in the Moto2 class. He's looking to go back-to-back here in Barcelona after his Estoril Race 2 victory. Brilliant stuff from the Spaniard, and now championship leader. What does Munoz have in response as they come over the line? Will he get into the slipstream of the Spaniard, the number 31 on the Fante Cardoso team? 3 abreast as they enter into turn 1. Navarro has a little look up the inside as well, but he drops back. Munoz has no answer as things stand for Garcia, and Garcia is now your comfortable race leader. He's got about a 1/10 of a second to spare, a couple bike lengths to Munoz just behind him. In fact, he's gapped him to about 2/10 with Jorge Navarro out to 3/10. This is what happened. Garcia up the inside, block pass, stands Munoz up. Thank you very much, says Roberto Garcia. I'll take the lead.
He gave Munoz no opportunity to respond, did Garcia. Just like a sixpence, he's able to turn that Fante Cardoso racing machine extremely well. But Jorge Navarro, he's just keeping his powder dry for the moment. He's looking comfortable in third. However, we see Garcia just opening up a small advantage. That's 3 bike lengths in the opening couple of sectors. Garcia a little bit wide. I thought he was about to run in the green there, but managed to get it turned. So Munoz, what does he have in response as Garcia just gets that bike shaking a little bit into the corners and out? I have been seeing in the last couple of laps, the bike is moving at the rear, the bike is moving at the front. However, it doesn't seem to deter the plucky 17-year-old Spaniard on the number 31 machine. What can Jorge Navarro do as he spin it up coming through turn 10? Navarro seems to be happy there, but if he sees Garcia just begin to gap them ever so slightly, then he might need to respond to Munoz. But once again, Munoz through the last couple of corners is building up down towards 14 to go, the downhill section in towards the final corner. Well, Munoz be able to get in the slipstream as they come across the line to tick off another lap. There will be 9 laps remaining in this Moto2 race number 1, powering down the home straight, coming out of the slipstream down towards turn number 1. Here comes Munoz, here comes Navarro. Who's the latest of the late breakers? It's Jorge Navarro that slots into second, so he's now seen Garcia has the pace as they were dropped down to the mid 144s on that last lap there. They were all in the 44s, but it was Navarro actually who was a 1/10 of a second slower than your rider in first and third. Here's the move once again down towards turn 1. Later in the brakes, Navarro just pops out of the slipstream and cool as you like into second spot.
Yeah, you can see that move was coming for sure. Navarro on Munoz. About half a second separated them coming out of the final corner. As he crossed the line, only 2/10 separated the top 3. So Navarro is now hot on the heels of Roberto Garcia. Roberto Garcia, remember, is your race winner from race 2 in Estoril, and Jorge Navarro was on the podium in the opening race. Navarro is seeking his first ever win in this class in just his 3rd race, as is Danny Munoz. Munoz has 1 more race than Navarro, but Munoz has not been on the podium yet. They're both rookies, but on opposite ends of the spectrum, you would say Navarro, hugely experienced rider on the number 11, over 100 World Championship appearances throughout his career, 10 podiums in the Moto2 World Championship. He is now in the Moto2 European Championship, and he's chasing down that first win as we've lost a rider there at turn 5. Mattia Ratto is down, which is a shame. He was running well inside the points in P12, but he's out of the race here in this morning. He will get in fact, it's Gianpaolo De Vittori who has gone down.
A bit of a moment with the graphics there. So, yeah, we've got 3 abreast coming down towards turn 1 again. Close as you like, they'll be separated by a handkerchief, basically. Navarro leading the way later.
Here we go, then Navarro takes the lead.
Here we go. 2 and 2. Oh, bit of a front end moment, runs a little bit wide. Garcia chops back in front, takes advantage of that small mistake from Navarro. Munoz trying to ride around the outside, so Navarro is really pushing the front there into turn 1, getting that forward. Clint forward, junior team machine moving left, right and centre, but we've got a great scrap for the win here with 7.5 laps remaining, Chris.
Yeah, Garcia just manages to hold off after, retake the lead, I should say, after Navarro's moment coming through there. But you would feel that is not going to be the last move. Danny Munoz then running in third, having led for 3 or 4 laps of this. He's now settled into watching the front two do battle between each other and potentially pounce on any mistakes, as they once again run it quite tight through 7 and 8 there, but Roberto Garcia keeps it clean enough. Just a little bit of an update then, what's happening behind the lead trio. We've got Alberto Sura running in 4th place. He's 3.5 seconds behind the podium places at the moment, with Taiga Hara up to 5th, Mattia Cassidy still in 6th, Monjardo, Uradre, Gimber and Toba. It's pretty much as you were from our last update, all inside the top 10. So Garcia leading here. They're coming around the final sector. 4 2 right-handers until we see the line. Once again, this is turn 13 and then turn 14 coming up next. It's not meant to be an overtaking hotspot, but my oh my, have we seen some historic moments in these corners, Liam.
Oh, indeed we have. Rossi, Razgatioglu. Will we see any more today? And as we've got 7 laps to go, Munoz, so look at
Here
Navarro.
we go, 3 abreast.
Look, it was just drifting there as he comes past Roberto Garcia. Now can he get stopped this time round? Yes, he can. No front end moments from Jorge Navarro, who is wanting to add a winner's trophy to his winner's trophy he got almost 8 years ago. But Roberto Garcia, they've touched. He looks over his shoulder. Garcia shakes his head, but I think, Garcia, that was more your problem than it was Navarro's, as Navarro's been hung out to dry. He's dropped back into 3rd, but Garcia, as we saw with his move on Munoz, he's having none of it. He's come out to play, and if you want to win, you've got to get your elbows out, as Garcia has sharpened his, and he's going to get feisty and fighting here today.
What a moment coming through turn 3 then, as the battle is no longer brewing, it is in full effect. Watch this from Garcia. Navarro runs it just maybe a little bit wide, but enough to open the door for Garcia. Shaking the head, he says.
Shaking the head, I can't believe that. It's so funny.
I'm not sure. We might get their thoughts afterwards of what happened there, or what was going through their head, but the door was slightly open, you have to say, and Garcia went full send and sent. Munoz now, Garcia's gone wide. Munoz retakes the lead. Has he got him on the cutback? I think he has. He absolutely does as well, around turn 10. So Munoz is in 2nd, but now here we go. Munoz again for the lead, coming through the final sector. This time he's going to make it stick, and the number 17 is once again back in the lead. He sees the battle happening in front of him. He says, I want a piece of that. I want to lead, and Navarro is now bunted down to 3rd position behind Garcia, with Danny Munoz leading over the line. But let's see how the slipstream comes into effect. We've seen it play its part over the last couple of laps. Will Navarro get into 2nd position here?
Now, I'm wondering if Garcia has just dropped back one position. After that moment there, he thinks he might get a penalty, a drop back 1 position. So maybe he's taken it upon himself to drop behind Danny Munoz to say to the stewards, look guys, I've dropped back 1 position, don't hand me a penalty. However, poor Jorge Navarro, he's still got Garcia in front of him, so after getting punted out wide, Garcia is sliding that rear tyre through turn 3. Is he coming into maybe some tyre troubles, as Munoz and Navarro are keeping their bikes line astern, but Garcia, it's all over the place now. It's starting to move and shake as Navarro has a little look up the inside into turn 4, and all of this battling means that Sura is now only 2.3 seconds off the back of this battle for 2nd and 3rd. They've closed down about a second on this battle after the fun and games that happened last lap, as Munoz runs a little bit wide into turn 7.
We've had 3 different winners in 3 different races in Moto2 European Championship 2024. Are we in contention for a new winner. Only one of the front three has won a race this year. That was Estoril Race 2, Roberto Garcia, but Dani Munoz, a rookie, and Jorge Navarro, a wily old veteran of the motorcycle racing circuit, are still to win in this class. So it's all to play for, and this is a very, very open Moto2 season. Roberto Garcia is your provisional championship leader as things stand, with Mattia Casadei running in 6th position. Taiga Hada is 4th in the championship. He's running in 5th, with Alberto Sura 3rd in the championship. He is running in 4th.
Garcia's got tyre troubles now. He was spinning it up to 13 and 14 as it came towards the end of the last lap. He also had a front end bobble into turn 12, and you see from those spins through 13 and 14, Dani Munoz, he's back into the low 144s. Nobody else can hold a candle to Munoz at the moment. He was 0.3 of a second faster than Navarro, almost half a second faster than Garcia. As you see out wide again, he's hanging off that bike to try and stand up sooner, and he's spinning the rear as Munoz is now gapping these two, and he's looking for his first win in Moto2. So we've got yellow flags out at turn 1 and 2. We'll keep an eye out on who's dropping down the timing screens. But we know here comes a move from Navarro. He's now seen that Munoz is getting away as the back marker pulls out of the way to the left-hand side of the circuit. But what can Navarro do now that he's into second?
Yeah, you knew that move was coming. As you said, he is having tyre troubles, and Navarro running it onto the green there, just ever so slightly. But Navarro is now in second place. I was going to pose the question, how much could Garcia defend this? Because the longer he defended Navarro, the better his chances of remaining on the podium were, because if these tyre troubles continue, Alberto Sura will come into contention, because there are 4 laps to go and a couple of corners as we lose yet another rider in what's been an attritional race. Kaito Toba crashes out of the top 10. Unfortunate for the Japanese rider. He was on for a good point scoring finish, but as you can see, Navarro has already gapped Garcia as he goes sliding through there through the final corners.
Yeah, watch Garcia through here. Another front end wobble from Garcia. He'll spin it up once again. You can see Garcia spinning up, but Navarro, he's pushing on. He's out on the green almost ahead of.
Yeah, so he's half a second slower there than Navarro. Roberto Garcia 145 flat. The saving grace for Garcia is Alberto Sura recorded a 145.4, so he is still quicker than the rider running in 4th place. But you would wonder if Sura just can get into shot of the Spaniard, he might just push a little bit harder rather than settle for his good point scoring finish. Now it's all about this victory fight though. Dani Munoz holds a 1 second advantage as things stand over the number 11 of Jorge Navarro. Navarro has opened up a gap to Garcia as Garcia struggles for grip. Navarro, you would hope, has a little bit better tyre, but as things stand, it's all about Dani Munoz out front. He's got a 1 second advantage. We'll check it as we come through the next sector of how things are standing on the timing screens. But can Navarro close the gap? Less than 4 laps remaining here in race 1 in Moto2 in Barcelona.
Yeah, Jorge Navarro has, I thought for a second there, maybe
I think our cameraman crashed for a moment.
He had a bit of a front ender there, did our camera guy. So thankfully our top 3 are still in the race for now, but it looks like Navarro isn't making any impression on Munoz at the moment. It looks like Garcia might have just been able to eke back a 10th or 2 in the last couple of sectors.
I tell you what, Munoz has found some serious pace at this stage of the race with 144.2 in the last one. He's 0.3 clear of Navarro over the last lap. He is maintaining that advantage. They've been going toe-to-toe over sectors 1 and sectors 2, but he found time in sector 3, and Munoz is very much on the charge to victory here. Let's see what the times are as they come over the line once again with 3 laps to go. Munoz is your runaway leader nearly at this stage, and he still holds that 1 second advantage, 1.1 second advantage now over Jorge Navarro. So it looks like Munoz, if he can keep this clean and tidy, he is set for a maiden victory in the Moto2 class. As we see Alberto Sura running in 4th, Mattia Casadei finally gets the better of Taiga Hada. Yeah. So Casadei picks up some more points in his championship chase. He is also 0.5 quicker than Alberto Sura, who is on that last lap, so he might just get P4. Yes, he has got plenty of time.
Goodness me, Taiga Hada in 6th place. They're having not 1 but 2 big rear end moments coming through turn number 3. So all of these riders are really struggling for tyre wear now. The pace has dropped off about a second and a half. The leaders are a second and a half slower than what they were setting at the start of the race. Mattia Casadei.
Sura's in trouble here, I think.
He really is. Mattia Casadei is the third fastest rider on track after Munoz and Navarro. They're the only two riders that are still in the 144s. The rest are in the low 45s or mid 45s, and Casadei is one of them that's in the low 45s. So Casadei is going to be snatching, you believe, in the next couple of laps, fourth position away from his teammate, as we've got another yellow flag out at turn number 4. So keep an eye out on the rider that's gone down there. Hopefully all is okay. But for now, this is the battle that's on track. It's Sura versus Casadei. Takahata, after those couple of moments at turn 3, looks like he's settled into a groove now.
This is a matter of when and not if for Mattia Casadei. We've got, what, 2 laps to go once they come across the line here. So they've got a couple of corners yet before they're going to come across the line. But this looks like it is going to be done very, very soon. Mattia Casadei about to pick up some more crucial championship
so much more
points.
edge grip.
You'd imagine if he can get close enough, he will do the business into turn 1. Well, we look at the front trio here, and it is Dani Munoz. This is an exceptional ride from the Spaniard, your 2023 Stock Championship winner, and your Moto2 2024 European Championship rookie, as Edu Montero goes flying into the gravel there. And that's going to be another no-pointer for Montero. So it's Munoz leading out front. He has extended his advantage to almost 1.6 seconds over Navarro, and Roberto Garcia is riding now comfortably in third position. He's got about 4.5 seconds to spare over Alberto Sura, who has got Mattia Casadei swarming all over him. But this is your race leader, Dani Munoz.
It's a masterclass from Munoz at the moment, isn't it, Chris? Because he's the only rider that's still in the mid 144s. Nobody can lay a glove on the 17, your rookie in Moto2 this year, your stock champion from 1 year ago. Is Navarro once again getting very close to that green. Garcia in a safe third, but the battle for fourth is not done and dusted just yet. Casadei into turn 10 will be looking for a move on his teammate Alberto Sura. The Bosco Scuro machine's a little bit out of this. I'm surprised by that. And race number 1 here today, but through the final 3 corners, turn 12, 13 and 14, you can see that Casadei, just behind this group for the final podium, is Garcia. He's having a bit of fun out there now, just spinning the rear coming through the last few corners. He knows he's in a safe third, can't lay a glove on Navarro or Munoz as they come across the line to start the final lap.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Munoz out front. He just has to keep it clean and tidy, and he will be a first-time race winner in the Moto2 European Championship, making it 4 different winners in 4 different races to start off the 2024 campaign. But valuable points on offer for 2 championship contenders here. Teammates on the Team Chiadi Bosco Scuro machines. Will Mattia Casadei get one over on his teammate Alberto Sura? Sura, a race winner in Misano. Casadei, a race winner from pole in Estoril. Well, he is all over him. He's got much better pace. Where is this move going to come, Liam? Here it comes. He's not close enough. Sura shuts the door in front of his Italian teammate. But out front, well, running in third position, this is Roberto Garcia. He won in race 2 in Estoril. He's on for another podium here, and he will become the championship leader outright by the end of this race.
Yeah, a great result there from Garcia. Casadei, who's about to lose his championship lead, climbing all over the back of Sura. But Sura's put up a valiant effort to hold off his teammate for now. There's going to be a one last chance for Casadei down towards turn 10, unless he can get a run down to the final corner, turn 14. But for now, there's no such issues for Dani Munoz, who rounds the last few corners, and he'll be on course for his first victory in Moto2.
2 corners left then, 1 right-hander here. This is coming around turn 13. He's only got turn 14 left. Keep it clean and tidy, and he will be your runaway race leader in race 1 in the Moto2 European Championship. On screen now is Jorge Navarro. He started on pole. He takes a podium, his second podium in the class. Roberto Garcia cruises home third position, but an absolute masterclass from Munoz, and Alberto Sura holds off Casadei. A shake of the head from Casadei. He loses in this battle for fourth. He loses his championship lead, but he will have an opportunity later on to retake that lead from the front row.
Outstanding effort there from Dani Munoz. He's only his 4th race in the class. He gets congratulated there by Tiger Hada, his teammate. The Gas Up Racing team 1 and 6th here today in race 1 in Catalonia. But Dani Munoz, he was a masterclass of Catalonia 1 year ago in the Stock European Championship on his way to the championship. But today, once more, he reigns supreme in Barcelona.
Yeah, absolutely sensational stuff then from the reigning 2023 Stock champion, Stock European champion, Dani Munoz, a race time 27 minutes 55 seconds. He is your runaway winner here, nearly 2-second advantage over Jorge Navarro in the end. Navarro started on pole position. We thought maybe this was his opportunity to take a maiden win in this class, but instead it went away to Munoz. Munoz, an absolutely sensational start from the line. We'll catch a replay of that shortly as we look at, well, Roberto Garcia was on screen and wheelies in the background behind Navarro. Navarro back on the podium, his 2nd podium of the campaign. Remember, he missed the Misano race due to World Supersport commitments. Joined in Estoril, took a podium on debut, then a P6 finish in the 2nd race, and now he's back on the podium ahead of Roberto Garcia. Garcia won that 2nd race in Estoril from 15th on the grid. A pretty sensational ride then, and a not half bad ride here either today. So you're 30, let me speak again, the number 31 is your championship leader. If my maths is correct, we'll get standings, of course, at the end of the broadcast and confirm it all to you. But by my maths, I think he has now become the championship leader, particularly with Mattia Cassidy coming in P5, Alberto Sura holding off the Moto2 world champion and his Italian teammate just on the line. Number 17, though, it belongs to him this race. Absolutely sensational effort from Munoz to cruise home. A superb start from the line for the Spaniard. Started 5th and immediately got himself up into P2, following in behind Navarro. By the end of the first lap then is when he struck for the lead, and he didn't actually hold on to it for the race, but he maintained pace with Garcia, with Navarro. All 3 riders led at certain points, but he struck a little bit later on in the race for the winning move, and then pretty much gapped Navarro and Garcia with relative ease. So they pull up into Parc Ferme. We'll be hearing from Munoz quite shortly once he gets away from the celebrations and takes the team photos. He'll be chatting to our man on the ground, Liam Hodgins, who is now running over to Parc Ferme from our commentary booth with haste, I would hope, and he will get set up and we'll hear from then race winner. So this is the move, one of the big moves of the day. Garcia firing it up the inside at turn 3 on Navarro, who was the race leader. Garcia then went wide just a few corners later. That's when Dani Munoz struck to take the initiative, and he seized the lead and never looked back, opening up a 2-second gap over his more experienced counterparts of Jorge Navarro and Roberto Garcia. A beat of the chest as Dani Munoz becomes the 4th different winner in 4 different races in the Moto2 class. Hugs all around then in the Gas Up Racing team just down at Parc Ferme. Congratulations to Dani Munoz on his maiden win in the class. Jorge Navarro back on the podium. Clint Ford Racing Factory, the Clint Ford junior team in fact, has a quick debrief with the team. And then we will shortly see Roberto Garcia, as you can see at the top left of your picture, just getting some hugs from the team members. Garcia, remember, a race winner in this class. He's back on the podium and is now, I believe, your championship leader. We just have a quick little listen in as he debriefs the team in Spanish. So I'm sure many of our Spanish fans will hear what he said, more so than us guys up in the commentary booth, who probably need a few Spanish lessons if we're being honest. So as you can see, Dani Munoz there in the middle. He's making his way over now for the interview. We will hear from him very shortly. He's just lining up with Liam Hodgins, who will get a quick chat with our race winner here in Barcelona.
Well, Dani Munoz, you are first-time Moto2 race winner. It looked a little bit difficult out there with tyres, but you kept yours in perfect condition. Just tell us about the race.
Well, the race was incredible, my first victory in this category. In the first lap, I tried to push a little, but in the middle of the race, I tried to don't use all the tire. And in the last lap, when Navarro and Roberto fight, I passed him, and I tried to push and take a distance. I'm very happy for the weekend, for the race. Thank you for all the team that they do a very good work. Thank you for my team, my sponsor, and my family. Thank you.
And once again in español.
Ha sido una carrera increíble, mi primera victoria en Moto2. Las primeras vueltas hemos intentado tirar, hemos sacado distancia, hemos creado un grupito de 3. Después, en mitad de la carrera, he conservado un poquito los neumáticos que han sufrido bastante. Y al final, cuando se han peleado Navarro y Roberto, pues he aprovechado y he intentado sacar mi ritmo. La última vuelta lleva un poco justo, pero lo suficiente para sacar la distancia de un segundo. Así que nada, muy contento y más a la siguiente. Gracias al equipo que ha hecho un gran trabajo, a los sponsors y a la familia.
Felicidades, Dani, and best of luck for race 2.
Thank you.
We will see Munoz in action in race 2. Can he go back to back? Because this is how he became a first-time winner in the Moto2 class in the European Championship. A sensational start from P5 saw him shoot up into second position, but it was Jorge Navarro who took the whole shot from pole position. Roberto Garcia slotted into third position, and that was how the trio was formed as they ran away from the rest of the pack. Alberto Sura running in fourth place there. We lost Eric Fernandez early on. It looked like some technical problems for the 2023 Stock Championship runner-up. Garcia then made his move past Navarro on the front straight, but Navarro had a little look up the inside as Garcia wobbled, but the Spaniard managed to hold on ahead of Navarro as we lost another rider. Dani Munoz became your race leader, but Garcia fired it up the inside and bunted the Spanish rookie out of the way to take the race lead and seize the initiative. 3 abreast, almost coming into turn 1 as Navarro then relegated Munoz to third position and jumped into second position himself. Before we lost another rider, Di Vittori, and the victory battle continued out front as Navarro then took the lead. Garcia demoted in third position, but then Garcia getting up close and personal with Navarro. His lead didn't last long as Munoz struck with the winning overtake, as Navarro then got the better of Garcia, with Garcia struggling for tyre wear. Navarro crossing the line in second position, Garcia running home in a comfortable third position. The battle for fourth went all the way to the wire. Alberto Sura was comfortably running in P4 for the majority of the race, but Mattia Cassidy hunted him down over the final laps as Dani Munoz ran away with victory with an almost 2-second advantage. Navarro came home in second position with Garcia third, and the battle for fourth between the teammates of the Team Chiatti Bosco Oscuro side saw Alberto Sura just about hold off Mattia Cassidy. But race 1 all belongs to one rider, and that is Dani Munoz. So time for the podium celebrations once again here in Barcelona. It's a home hero lockout of the podium. 3 Spanish riders atop on the rostrum and their home country. So first out is Roberto Garcia. Another podium for him as his title tilt builds momentum quite nicely. Jorge Navarro then a second podium in 3 races for the Spaniard as he enters the championship picture. Race 2, he will start from pole position and he will look to build even more momentum as he begins a championship charge. But race 1 all belongs to this rider here, Dani Munoz, your 2023 European Stock Champion and now a Moto2 European Championship race winner. Mr. Jean-Marc Desnoyers out to present the first of the trophies to the team manager from Gas Up Racing Team. Next up then will be Roberto Garcia, starting to build a nice little trophy cabinet for himself is Garcia. A lift of the trophy, a point to the team, and a celebratory smile, shall we say. Jorge Navarro then picks up his second trophy in the class. Mr. Josep Luis Santamaria presenting a World Championship veteran with his second European Championship trophy of 2024. And then it's Ayumu Sasaki. We saw Colin Vire earlier in the JuniorGP present the winner with his trophy, and now Ayumu Sasaki has the same honor, presenting Dani Munoz with his first ever Moto2 European Championship winning trophy. And now a moment all three can enjoy. It's the Spanish national anthem.
The podium Prosecco will be sprayed as the top three celebrate the podium for race number 1. An all-Spanish podium for the second time today. And we won't be giving away too many of the results from JuniorGP if you want to go back and watch that another time. The podium Prosecco for...
Spoilers, Hodjo. Spoilers.
I love a lot of a spoiler, I do. And, well, I haven't given away who they were, but as long as they were the top 3. So, here is your classification. Dani Munoz on top with his first ever race win in Moto2, the 4th different winner of the season, ahead of Jorge Navarro, who's now started to build up a nice championship challenge ahead of Roberto Garcia, who came into tyre troubles late on in the race, ahead of Alberto Sura and Mattia Cassidy. The Bosco Scuros in 4th and 5th. Taiga Hara in 6th, ahead of Francesco Mongiardo, Unai Oradri and Johan Gimbert picking up the top 9. Marco Tapia, the top 10, ahead of Mattia Ratto, Lorenzo Fillon, Brett Roberts and Maxwell Toth, and then Shannon Inter running out your points paying positions. Charles Aubry and Jinlin Li, the Chinese rider, just missing out on your points paying positions. The runners own riders that failed to finish: Eduardo Montero, Keito Toba, Gianpaolo De Vittori, Harrison Voigt, Alberto Fernandez, Matteo Volpi and Eric Fernandez, who missed out on what was already a good race before some troubles early on. But here is your championship standings. Roberto Garcia leads the way on 71 points, 2 ahead of Mattia Cassidy and Alberto Sura. So the top 2 are pulling clear at the top. Jorge Navarro within a race win position, 23 points back ahead of Taiga Hara. Dani Munoz, your race winner, in 6th ahead of Alberto Fernandez, Francesco Mongiardo and Eric Fernandez rounding out your top 9. Unai Oradri, who's having a difficult start to the season, in 10th ahead of Johan Gimbert. Mattia Ratto, Lorenzo Fillon, Harrison Voigt and Brett Roberts running your top 15, with Marco Tapia and Ivo Lopez on 6 points in 17th. In 18th spot you have Matteo Volpi, Kaito Tsoba in 19th, another retirement from race 1 here today, ahead of Hoshuik running your top 20, Maxwell Toth in 21st, Montero 22nd and Shannon Inter. You're rounding out your points paying positions.
So race 1 in Barcelona belongs to one rider and one rider only, and that is Dani Munoz, who secures his maiden victory in the class. Can he do it again in race 2? Make sure you join us later on to find out.